Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen from Outclick Magazine. The Galleria at Fort Lauderdale, recognized as Broward County's premier shopping destination, has announced the lineup of honorees for its 14th annual Men of Style Challenge. For 2020, the event will take place virtually from October 7th through December 3rd. You will be able to cast your vote virtually. Votes are $25 each, with 100% of the proceeds benefiting the 11 participating charities. The challenge culminates at 5 p.m. on December 3rd, 2020, during a virtual event presentation to announce the leading man of style based on monetary votes. The winning man of style will receive an additional financial contribution from various sponsors for his designated charity. Go to www.galleriamall-fl.com to vote for your favorite guy from this year's list of men of style. Hi, today we welcome Nick Matthews to the program. Nick, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hi, Nick. We welcome you to the program and glad to have you as part of the 2020 Men of Style. Nick, our first question that we're asking is, what nonprofit did you select to work with, and why did you select them?
Well, thank you for having me. Again, I'm honored to be representing the Broward Public Library Foundation at this year's Men of Style event. I recently joined the board of the Library Foundation, and it's an incredible organization. I mean, we have the pleasure of supporting all of the really, really important programs that the library has, and a lot of them folks don't even know about. You know, the funny thing is, you grow up. I grew up going to the library for what a very traditional thing was. You went for books or to study, and you know, if we were lucky, parents let us bring home a VHS tape or a movie. But you know, the neat thing is libraries have evolved and morphed into absolute instrumental pieces of in communities, and they, you know, the things they provide, from the traditional things, like I said, with, you know, what you imagine a kid in there reading a book or doing homework is, you know, some pretty incredible things. You know, one of my kind of anecdotal reason why libraries really kind of important to me is, you know, I worked during the last economic downturn, right? Obviously 08 through 10 and all that. My office was right across the street from a large library in Hollywood. And every day I saw literally lines of people going in to use computers to fill out resumes, to get advice on workforce development and all those things. And it's just, that's what the community needed at that point in time. And the library jumped in, made all their resources available, and filled a really, really important gap. And I think, you know, at the time where people were debating whether they pay their utility bill or rent, you know, maybe the internet was the thing you had to cut that month, but you knew that the Broward libraries were available to you, and you could do some of those things. Now, you know, the Library Foundation is supporting a lot of the programs and a lot of initiatives that the Broward Public Library runs. You know, we have this incredible program for Books and Bears, where kids in the 2 to 4 range who are from underserved neighborhoods and communities can come. They get a bear, and they get a bear themed book, which is really neat. You know, starting young and inspiring kids to read. And it's not, you know, you get a toy and a bear with it, so it's this positive kind of warm experience. And you know, and we've had people come back or kids come back and say, oh, you know what, no one ever gave me a book before. Now think about that. You know, like how impactful is that as a gift the first time? Put a book in a kid's hands and give them a chance to really start developing. You know, like I said, Books and Bears, children's literacy programs, which are absolutely critical. SAT and ACT workshops, we help support those programs, which, you know, helping kids get onto higher education, which is really important. We support programs that help connect veterans and their families with all of the many resources available in the community to them. And sometimes they don't know where to go or how to connect all the dots, and that's one of the things we help support. And workforce development programs. We're in talks with helping provide new tablets and some like Chromebook type things to help folks come in and search for jobs and fill out applications, which again, you know, if you fast forward, you know, a decade after my last kind of story, and we're kind of back there again with the library, figuring out what the community needs and being a critical piece of it. And it's a great organization, and we try to fill in the gaps. And as someone in my line of work, I work in government, I work with government. I travel to Tallahassee every year for legislative session. I used to work in the Florida legislature, and I've seen when the economy gets rough and times are bad, sadly, libraries are one of the first things on the cutting block to balance a budget. And that's why I'm proud of the foundation, because we really do supplement and provide kind of some wraparound financial support on some of these important programs.
That's amazing. The corollary to that, our second question is, what motivates you to give back to the community?
Well, I'd like to think that at this point, I've reached a point in my professional life, in my career and personal life where, you can really dive in headfirst in getting involved. And I think to kind of tie in what this event is, I think a real man of style isn't just someone in nice suits and nice shoes or expensive watches. I think a real man of style is someone who understands where they came from and wants to give back, because what are you if you aren't doing something in your community to make it better on a day-to-day basis? And that's why I'm involved, and the Library Foundation has provided me a venue to really do that. And that's why I'm honored to be in the Men of Style, because this is a great event. All the proceeds from this event go directly back into the charities that the guys are supporting. So, which is pretty cool. So that's, happy to be involved, certainly.
Very cool. The third question is, what is your number one strength, and how does it impact what you do professionally and in support of the community?
I'm my probably number one strength is being a strategic thinker. In my line of work, you have to see all the angles. You have to kind of anticipate things that others don't to be successful. That's why clients hire us. You really got to be able to understand the environment you're going in. When you're working with government or a city commission, a county commission, or the state legislature, a million different competing interests, a million different personalities, and being a strategic thinker and kind of thinking through things to help clients put their best foot forward is critical. I think that's why people come, clients or business or whatever it is, that's why people come to us, come to me, is because they know we leave no stone unturned. We think about it all, and we really do lay out a really strong vision for how to accomplish a client's interests, and kind of just being strategic minded at all times is a key part of that. And that definitely translates into me getting involved in supporting the foundation I'm on, and helping us maximize community relationships and those types of things. You can't, very rarely is something that's done when it's rushed or kind of just bluntly done too quickly. Rarely is that a successful thing. You need to be able to do things efficiently and quickly, but they need to be well thought out. They need to be strategic, because especially in the community and kind of the charity fundraising world, people have a limited attention span, a limited amount of time to focus. Maybe something's not, your priority may not be their priority, so you can't mess your one shot asking for money, asking for support. So overall, kind of strategic thinking, I think, is critical.
The fourth question is, what is one community challenge you would like to receive more attention, and why?
I think, to kind of be on brand and on theme here a little bit, I would say literacy is critical. What the numbers around when folks and when children can read and at what level is scary, how determining or linked to future outcomes that can be. And it's kind of scary how important all that is. And just kind of looking at the list of things our foundation does, like the SAT, ACT workshops and support, how does someone take advantage of that next leap into higher education, which I think is absolutely critical for a lot of people? How do you do that if from the get-go you're behind grades, you're behind reading levels? It's just so unlikely. It's going to be really difficult to kind of take advantage and make the next leap and all that. I mean, how do you read an employment contract when you're going to work? How do you heck, when, let's say, folks are struggling to read their whole lives, and this time of year you get into a polling booth to exercise your right to vote, and there's an important issue on there that's going to go into the Florida Constitution, and you really can't understand it just because of the illiteracy issue. It impacts every phase of life. This is one of those things at a young age. If we don't get it right, folks are left behind, and it doesn't need to be that way. So I'm glad that's one of the key things that we support.
The next one is my favorite question to ask. What is your favorite way to kick back, relax, and decompress? And where is the best place to do it?
Well, in any given year, it would be travel of some sort, but that's less of a reality now. I think being locked in this room all day for work, honestly, my wife and I going and getting some good food and a glass of wine somewhere is as good as it gets right now, sadly. But it's still pretty good, and love hopping onto the patio at like the Capitol Grill at the Galleria Mall to have a nice glass of wine and share a steak with my wife is a pretty good. That's as good as it gets back for kicking back right now. So.
Very good. Very good. Our last question is, what is one professional or personal goal that is a priority for you?
Professional. I want to keep growing in my job. I want to build I continue to build a book of business that I'm really, really proud of, and work with clients that I'm really proud of. At some point, I'd like to be in a partnership or ownership of a firm, and being senior management of that, and really have an impact on the entire organization. The firm I'm at, I absolutely value and cherish. It's a family, it feels like a family run law firm, which is really rare. We've managed to buck back kind of the corporate trend and everything, and at some point being involved in maintaining that would be an honor for me, because I really see what good culture does in a workplace, and I'm a product of it. So at some point, being in a leadership or management type role of my firm would be an honor.
Well, Nick, we thank you for joining us on the program. It's been great learning more about you, and we are excited for you to be a part of this year's 2020 Men of Style.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We look forward to this year's ceremony and what's going on this year. Thank you so much. Vote for your favorite guy for the 2020 Men of Style at www.galleriamall-fl.com.